Hey RATBAGGERS, it's Jade giving you a lowdown today on survival news basically around Gamescom. Yes, Gamescom's happening, bunch of news, trailers and gameplay reveals all taking place. Last night's opening ceremony was kind of whack. There weren't really much offering in terms of survival, but I have found a few nuggets as the day's gone on today, showing off new updates for games like Nightingale, what's going on with Aloft. We've got Sendoku Dynasty promising big stuff. Sievert has a release date, Corekeeper new demo available ahead of its 1.0 release, and some actual decent gameplay showing off Dune Awakening. And finishing off with not a survival game but a look at Atomfall, basically Fallout in the UK. Is that about right? I'll give you some of my first thoughts about another trailer that's been shown off and the release date for that. So all that, let's go, is the survival show. So Nightingale have revealed the release date for their big revamp, adding a whole host of new features, massively increased build limit and a lot more. Realms Rebuilt will go live on the 12th of September. It's promising a much more handcrafted story and worlds to first navigate before complementing it with procedurally generated ones as you progress, and a whole brand new revamp of the progression system. Nightingale's had a bunch of great updates since it launched, really affecting what people really wanted to see in terms of improvements in quality of life, but this is definitely pushing it forward, albeit by taking a step back. They are going to be wiping progress or leaving the old version playable, but any new content will only be available on a new character and a new world. Given the state of the actual player numbers dropping so low, definitely was a case of needing some sort of fresh approach to the game, I'm guessing, and that's where they're gone with it. So whole new stuff that they're seeing, like being able to grapple, that actually got added in one of their previous updates, but so much more coming with new dungeons, new boss battles, new enemies, new weapons and more. The new boss arenas and new bosses look absolutely sick. I do not want to mess with that bear for his honey, and I have no idea what this is. As said, I have played a little bit of it, but definitely be jumping in more. I'm just praying there's not a whole big sway of other releases so I can really put some time into this on the 12th of September. I don't know how I missed this, but Aloft is actually coming out this year. I swear I saw that it was going to be delayed or it wouldn't be here till 2025. Maybe I got that wrong. Either way, I'm excited to see it's actually got a full 24 release date. That's from their latest trailer showing off that the next level event, whatever show it was. This is looking great, very cartoony, but it's got a swathe of freedom and progression as you basically pilot islands in the sky, trying to uncover lost knowledge, building up your bases and playing it with your friends. The usual survival tropes, but it does have a really good vibe to it. The demos have been great, having more content in them than so many actually full price games. I do believe the demo is still running now, so you can go and give it a try for yourself. So very looking forward to this one, seeing how it's adapted and changed even more with the actual early access release, and that's where it's going to be at. I think it is going to be an early access release and then hopefully come into consoles in the future. Effectively, you've got to clear out these corrupted islands, and that's the main aim of the game, and they're showing off definitely more creatures that I've never seen before, making it not just cozy but something a little bit more dangerous, dark and hopefully exciting too. Taking note of the fauna around and rescuing these peacock creatures also might be up your alley, and definitely is going to be a lot of farming, growing crops and basically customizing your islands to however you want it. And being a huge Discworld Terry Pratchett fan, I was really pleased to see a turtle with an island on its back. I'm definitely going to try and get that one. I will be covering this on my other channel, JPG Crafted, for sure when it releases. Sendoku Dynasty was a game I gave a shot when it released, but then kind of fell off because there simply just was lots going on and it was very early access. Yes, another entry in the Dynasty series. This wasn't as good as Medieval Dynasty, but it was definitely better than Wild West. They announced last night big plans and update news about what they're going to be adding to some updates later on this year. It looks to be a huge revamp of new content as well as refined systems, making the game more engaging, hopefully not as grindy, and just overall more exciting. With combat being the main thing that seems to be shown off at the end of the trailer, showing the progression they've made and hopefully some big improvements to it. Which I'm all down for. Medieval Dynasty didn't really grab me actually because of the bare bones basic combat in it, and I just felt like the rest of the game was kind of boring for me. But give me something a little bit more juice, a little bit more excitement like this, and I'll be willing to give it another shot. So fingers crossed the updates incoming are going to be good. I don't think there's any actual release dates set for any of this just yet, but certainly highlighting what's to come in the coming months, and we should see something release very soon. This winter's definitely going to be the time of smaller indie games, and Sievert is releasing as a 1.0 game. This is a 2D kind of Tarkov inspired survival game where you'll be setting out on miniature little maps and areas, trying to loot as much resources as possible and then make it back to hopefully sell, upgrade and get more gear. I gave it a shot when it released and I felt like it was dying out for controller support, so fingers crossed that'll be in there with the 1.0, and I would say it's a pretty cool little concept in terms of switching how we view certain survival games or extraction games and putting a 2D spin on it. So ignoring the cartoon graphics and the different style, it is still an extraction shooter, albeit in a single player format. There are no other players that you'll be running into toxicity. It's all just NPCs that you have to worry about as you quest around post-apocalyptic nature, trying to get resources and make it back alive. Again, another one I'm probably put on my other channel, JPG Crafted, but you never know, maybe it has got a place on the more hardcore here, and yeah, I'll be covering it when it releases on October the 23rd. Fingers crossed it might not be too long before we see a console release. Yeah, it can be pretty hard juggling two channels when they're covering pretty much the same genre, survival, but there's so many different types of survival games, and Corekeeper definitely fits in on my JCraft channel. I've already been covering it there ever since it released, and the 1.0 release is obviously coming very soon, the 27th of August. I've already got access to that 1.0, and there's a free Steam demo available from the 22nd for you to go and try it if you've never given it a whirl. Simply put, it's one of my favourite games of all time. I've sunk hundreds of hours into this, one of the rare occasions that I play games beyond just making content for. 1 to 8 player co-op absolutely coming to all platforms eventually, with Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5 releasing alongside the 1.0 update on the 27th of August, and Xbox One, PS4 and Switch. You've got to wait a few weeks later to the 17th to get your hands on one of the best crafting survival games I've played. So yeah, come check me out. I'll be streaming this pretty much every day now for the next week or so. I'll shout out one more time, JPG Crafted, for all your more chill, younger sort of style survival games like Grounded, Smalland, Lego Fortnite and more. But really hyped up about this one, and I can't wait to show everyone what's in 1.0. So Dune Awakening has revealed their 27-minute presentation they've been showing at Gamescom to press and creators, and I've got to say, some of it does look good, some of it does look very rough. But at least it is almost unfiltered pure gameplay with no city cutscenes, although it does take a while to get into it. We are seeing lots of combat, ways to play, whether it's going to be focusing on gunplay, which this game primarily is. Joel Bidas confirms it is meant to be at its heart a shooter with melee and of course traversal, making what they call combined arms. But yeah, the bulk of the game is going to be about shooting, rather than the melee focused, I would say, obviously from Conan Exiles. I'm probably going to dive deeper into this actually on my JPG2 channel, as that's where I'll be covering Dune Awakening, anything big server based or MMO style in this kind of genre, anything also with PvP, that's going to be the new home. But yeah, I would say some of it does look okay. In terms of the world environment, absolutely it looks gorgeous, the lighting, but as it should using Unreal Engine 5 and all the stuff that comes with it. The character movements though are stiff as heck. The models themselves, the animations look like there's something from the 360 days, and I was a bit underwhelmed by a lot of the sound and shots and stuff, as well as the AI itself from what you expect maybe in certain games, but I feel like we've got to advance eventually, right, and have creatures that actually move a little bit rather than just stand there waiting to get shot. But the combination of gunplay, using them abilities, and the different types of a character you could have, like this guy here with a bit more of a focus on some melee special abilities, could be interesting. The idea as well that you've got certain skills or characters that can reveal info about the battlefield, what players might have on them. Definitely in a PvP setting I could see that as being really useful. But yeah, traversing around this location, taking care of the PvE characters, yeah, this looks cool as well. I like the idea of there being more options for stealth. But overall, as kind of expected, a lot of people have reached out to me saying that they've taken part of the beta and that certain parts of the game are really rough and definitely need a lot more work. And now I'm certainly starting to see why. More in-depth analysis on my JPG2 channel. Yes, I've got 3 channels, I know, crazy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Dune Awakening. Apparently 1 million wish lists, that's a crazy number. Who is really excited for this? Let me know in the comment section. And finishing off with something that's not strictly survival, but I do love the look of this one. Anything that's set in my home country, of course, I might be a bit more interested in. This is Atomfall. Yes, everyone's comparing it to basically the British Fallout, and it does look like that from first glance. We saw another little teaser trailer last night, and there's going to be more shown off on the Xbox showcase later on today or tomorrow. But it is a post-apocalyptic RPG shooter set based on the real events that happened in the 50s, but of course it had been splintered into an alternate timeline dimension for the actual game. Surviving on crumpets and tea, shooting mechs and finding some really great big massive bushy beards. That seems to be the order of the day as you're shooting against different factions and seemingly taking on a weird take on quests. Not just simply being given an objective, but being given leads, and different leads from different people can then take you to the same outcome or even same progression. That's what the blog I was reading up on today said, so it does look like they're trying to do a few things different. Of course, Rebellion are more famous for their Sniper Elite series, and this isn't the first time they've tried breaking out of that with a brand new game. Think of their other stuff like Strange Brigade, but I think this one could be the one that really starts up something fresh for them, with a release window, well, pretty short one, of March next year, so I'll be all over that. And there we go, that's the survival show. Leave a like, make sure you comment, I'll see you later.